What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to yet another edition of the Mr.Sitter podcast with me, Anthony Locascio. How you doing? Thank you for everybody that's still banging on, still listening. I really appreciate you guys tuning in week to week. I appreciated you guys bearing with me through a lackluster return to form holiday episode last week, and I'm just here to let you know that we are back with a bang today. I've got a monster episode planned for you guys. I'm here with my mug again, courtesy of Alex Lamond, and I have the Japan jersey. I said that I was gonna go and buy the Japan jersey for my boys, and then my stepbrother bought it for me for Christmas. So, shout out to James, absolute legend. This thing fits amazingly. This is a medium, which all throughout my time growing up, I've never actually been a medium in football jerseys, but the people of Japan are small. So this fits me perfectly. People that are listening won't be able to see it, but that's all the more reason why you should subscribe to the YouTube. People that are listening, subscribe to the YouTube. It's a lot of fun. Me here with Vegeta and Del Piero, who you probably don't know that I have with me as companions each episode. What a weekend of football we had. Some absolutely corker games in the Premier League. Two derbies and two derbies with quite considerable consequences for the title race in the Premier League. We had the Manchester derby first and foremost. Really, really top game. I really enjoyed the Manchester derby, which is not a given these days, and not a given for me because I don't really have a dog in the fight. I was kind of favoring United because I like United. I'm sick of City, and I predicted that United would win. So voila. So it was a great game. The battle of the two bald, stylish managers they both love a turtleneck. They both love an interesting facial hair configuration, and they both love tactics. And what a tactical battle it was. They managed to nullify each other, cancel each other out in the first half. Before the second half, where Jack Grealish opened the scoring. Jack Grealish, who I have very famously talked shit about on this podcast many a time. Jack Grealish, having played like Almiron for the last I don't know how long, in his own words, scored a header, which I don't think I've ever seen him do, answering the question once and for all. Can the Premier League's best lesbian footballer score with his head? He did. He can. But City would go on to lose the match 2-1, courtesy of a very controversial goal from Bruno Fernandes, which before we talk about, I just want to say that Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who's been very, very maligned over his career at Manchester United, for specifically for not being good in build-up, not being good in attacking phases, did so well in the lead-up to Bruno Fernandes' goal here. He actually managed to dribble his way out of two players, and then he played the ball through, which was ultimately run onto by Rashford, not touched by Rashford, and then finished by Bruno Fernandes. It's within the rules of the game that Rashford not touching the ball means that he's not interfering with play. Hence the goal standing. But that's bullshit. That's a stupid rule that needs to be changed because Rashford's run and his not touching of the ball clearly disrupted the defenders and the goalkeeper, who would have probably easily shut down Bruno Fernandes otherwise. So that's fucking offside, and you'd be furious if you were Man City. But as Pep Guardiola said, we know where we're playing. Obviously alluding to the fact that the referee may have been biased by the game being at Old Trafford. Manchester United ended up winning. Marcus Rashford, who is red hot in form again, scoring once more after some good work from Garnacho. Garnacho, when Manchester United bring young youth academy players through, you always wonder, is it going to be Federico Macheda? Is it going to be he scores 2 or 3 goals and is involved really heavily for a little while, and then he just fades into obscurity? Or is he going to be like Marcus Rashford and be amazing and then be shit for a little while and then be amazing again because he's a really, really amazing player? It looks like Garnacho fits into the latter of those categories. And I mean, if you're a Manchester United player right now, you look at the improvements that the likes of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, the likes of Marcus Rashford, the likes of Diogo Dalot, who has been injured, and that's why Wan-Bissaka has been playing. The improvements that these players have made under Ten Hag, you think to yourself, I should stay here for the long haul, man, because there's actually a development plan in place, and Man United, there's a good feeling around them at the moment, so I'm happy they won. Pep doesn't really give a fuck, as per his post-match interview. He doesn't care about the Premier League, and he wants other clubs to win it. He's bored, Pep is, which obviously mind games. That's what managers do, guys. Newsflash. But it will be very funny if Manchester City do go on to win the Premier League. It's like I didn't even care about it, and yet we won. That's how good I am. But I don't think they're going to win the Premier League. Mostly because Arsenal keep on rolling. Just as I predicted a few weeks ago, Arsenal breezed past Tottenham in fairly easy fashion in the second derby that we had this weekend. That resonating from North London. Emanating? Let's go with emanating. From North London, this game wasn't as fun. Hugo Lloris, who I told you, he's so overrated. He's a blunder machine. Made one of them to allow Arsenal in, and then Odegaard scored an absolute belter to put Arsenal 2-0 up. Odegaard is low-key my player of the season shout for this season in the Premier League. He has been absolutely fantastic. As opposed to Spurs, who are shit. They're shit. And given that they have my favourite manager, it hurts me to see that they're shit. But it's just the Spursy thing to do. Speaking of Conte, is this... You know he's got a hair transplant, right? He's got a wig, because he was pretty fucking bald towards the end of his tenure at Juve when he was a player, and then he had a full skinhead, and then miraculously he came back into management with a full mop. He has a haircut. He got the wig cut, it's shorter than it usually is. Can you get a wig haircut? It's not gonna grow back, bro. Do you know what I mean? It looks so much more like a wig now, because it's why would you do that? I understand you need a change up, but no good, man, no good. Go and get a new one. Go and get a new wig. Paste it on again. Return to Italy where you belong. You can coach Juve again. We desperately, desperately need you. And let's just end this Tottenham experiment, man. Let's just, they keep going with these proven winner managers. They've gone with Mourinho. They've gone with Conte now. It's not going to work. Spurs are Spurs. Go back to being what you're supposed to be. Hire a young, progressive, hotshot manager. Play amazing football. Come fourth sometimes. Come fifth or sixth most of the time. And go back to being Spurs, guys. It's not going to work out. The fans aren't happy. Speaking of the fans, man. You guys obviously would have heard about that random Spurs fan that kicked Aaron Ramsdale and then just fucking ran away. The CCTV footage actually captured him running so far up, that he thought that he'd be out of danger of being spotted and identified, and then he hides behind a set of supporters, and the CCTV footage zooms in fucking 4K on his face. So they've got him. They've totally got him. Man, he just looks like a little gopher. He just looks like a little weird little raccoon thing, this guy. He's a slimy little weaselly little fuck. And weird how no one was around him, no one tried to protect him or anything like that, and then he completely ran away and hid behind some random people. Presumably this guy has no friends, and his entire kind of ethos comes from being a Spurs supporter, hence his decision to choose violence in this instance. So this little weirdo, I think he should be identified and he should be charged, because this is a kind of Jeffrey Dahmer in the making situation. I don't know if Jeffrey Dahmer ever attended a football match and kicked the opposition goalkeeper. It wasn't a very hard kick, by the way. So either, this is in my view, the media are caught, and ex-footballers, whatever, they're all calling for him to be banned from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and to never be allowed to watch his team again. I think that's a perfectly viable punishment, but I also think he should get the choice of being banned permanently from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, or he should let Aaron Ramsdale kick him as hard as he can anywhere of Aaron Ramsdale's choosing. I think that's a totally fair trade-off. So Little Weasley dude, if you're out there, you might be a listener. In which case, I'm sorry I talk shit about you. Please continue to leave really nice reviews on iTunes. If you've been doing that, a lot of them are anonymous. I don't know, could well be you. But if not, take me up on this offer, man. You can go see Spurs every single week. Just let Aaron Ramsdale kick you probably in the groin as hard as he fucking can. Lot of dickheads, man. A lot of dickheads around this game. Richarlison is one of them, man. Like Richarlison, I like him as a player, but he's a fuckhead, that guy. And I've been skating left and right as to whether or not I think that Richarlison's a fuckhead. But in this game, like, he's a substitute. He's warming up near the corner flag. Gabriel Martinelli, his compatriot, his friend from the Brazilian national team, goes to shake hands with him, and he just like fucking rejects him. He rejects the handshake from his. Come on, bro. Like, what's wrong with you? Grow up. You're a fuckhead, and he's an even bigger fuckhead based on quotes that he put out this week, saying that being knocked out of this World Cup was worse than losing a family member to death, in case that's lost on anybody. Worse than losing a family member. No, bro. Sorry. That's like, I'm not a professional footballer. I will never know what it's like to play at the World Cup, but I can quite confidently say that that's fucking bullshit. And I'm sorry, it doesn't mean that much. Only one team gets to win the World Cup. Everybody else like doesn't win, you know what I mean? So it's not that bad. And also, imagine being a member of this guy's family and reading that he said this. Like, imagine you're his cousin, and he's like, I would have happily sacrificed your life if it meant that we didn't get knocked out by Croatia. If it meant that we went on to win the World Cup, then like mum, sister, dad, second cousin, off you go, man. Off you go. No handshake at the corner flag. Fuck Richarlison. You're an idiot. You got a stupid name. You got a stupid celebration. You're a stupid head, bro. Brighton and Hove Albion, as far as I'm concerned, playing the best football in the Premier League under Roberto De Zerbi, who, if anybody's a Serie A fan, you'd know about this guy. He was exceptional as coach of Sassuolo in the 4-2-3-1, which he has been playing for Brighton recently, and they're just like all-out attacking play. Really, really good football to watch. De Zerbi was a number 10 as a player, but kind of like never scratched the top level of football. And it's always interesting to see how players like that turn into coaches. You've got Zidane, who obviously did scratch the top level. It's just always interesting to see how kind of mercurial players like that develop as coaches. And De Zerbi's he's top caliber, man. He's fantastic, and he's got some fantastic players. He admitted as much after the game. I think Moises Caicedo is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, and who knows, he might be playing for Chelsea next week, and Brighton might be £170 million richer because of it. But that'll all depend on Chelsea losing this weekend. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Really happy to see them absolutely fuck Liverpool, who, man, my prediction that they would come back in this title race was just absolutely off the mark. Liverpool are shit, man. Liverpool, no good. And as testament to how bad they are is that they had Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain playing. I was like, what the fuck? He's still at Liverpool. He's still alive. He's still playing football. Also, I have on my notes AOC for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and I was about to say Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, who, if you don't know who that is, congratulations for not subscribing to American politics. Go you, man. So it's fun to watch Liverpool be shit. I don't know why. They were really, really good for such a long time. It's fun to watch them be shit. As a more or less neutral Premier League supporter these days, I have a soft spot for Brighton and Hove Albion, man. If anybody wants to buy me another jersey, get me the Brighton jersey with Alexis McAllister at the back, please. Or I'll take Caicedo, or I'll take Mitoma. You know what? Fuck it. I love them all. Give me any Brighton jersey. All right, cool. And that's mostly because I've abandoned Chelsea. I've totally abandoned Chelsea. The glory days of the Mourinho era and beyond are over, and I don't like what they've become. I don't like how they play. I don't like many of their players, and I have gone through cycles of like not following them but still loving them, and now my love is totally gone. They limped past Crystal Palace this weekend, having lost a couple of days earlier to Fulham. And it's good for like the world economy, I guess, that they did win, because Todd Bowley is just trying to like break the simulation of the game. You know, they lost. He bought João Felix, although it's just on a dry loan, even though they're pretty confident they can sign him outright from Atletico Madrid. They lost to Fulham. They've signed Mykhailo Mudryk, who, like, they don't need all of these attackers, man. They're going to get Nicolas Nkunku as well in the summer. They've already got so many attackers, unless there's going to be a major clear-out, which you'd assume there would be. Like, does this guy understand? Like, there's no sporting director there. There's no one saying, hey, don't just buy who the fans say they want on Twitter, because that's what he's doing. Like, he went on a fan Twitter space immediately after buying Mykhailo Mudryk to check out who the Chelsea fans really, really want. Like, they're gonna love you if you win trophies, man. They're not gonna love you for spending stupid amounts of money on, like, the next hot thing. But anyway, the good thing about the Mudryk deal is that the Shakhtar president did pledge more than £20 million of the £88.5 million that was the deal to help Ukrainian soldiers and their families, which is really nice. And the Premier League now has Mykhailo Mudryk, who is an absolute baller and a funny dude as well. On Instagram, put up a photo of him at the beach in a little life jacket, and then you could see in the background of the beach there was like a guy diving, and he tagged the diver as Neymar. Funny stuff. I like Mudryk, but I wish that he had gone to Arsenal. Arsenal was so close. Chelsea basically swooped in and got him. I don't know if he starts over Martinelli. Maybe the plan was to get him, put him on the left, put Martinelli as the number 9, but Eddie Nketiah is doing a great job. Arsenal definitely need 1 or 2 reinforcements if they're going to do the business and win the Premier League, but fuck do they look good. And now Chelsea have just a million fucking players. Look for them to get Caicedo, or maybe they'll even get over the line for Enzo Fernandez. I don't know, but they're going to sign one more player, and they've already signed 4 in this transfer window, so break the game, Todd Bowley, you fucking idiot American. Go for it, man. Who cares? Last game of the Premier League I want to chat about, just one incident in Newcastle versus Fulham. That was, of course, Alexander Mitrovic's penalty, returning to the place he used to call home at St. James's Park. He wasn't very good for Newcastle, but whatever. He still enjoyed his time there. He's been great for Fulham. Gets a penalty, the ability to score, the chance to score against your former team. He takes it, but the replay reveals that he approaches the ball. His standing leg is right next to the ball. He miskicks the ball with his right leg, ricocheting that ball into his leg, and then the ball goes in because the keeper dove out of the way and the trajectory was just going straight. The ball is ruled off. The goal is ruled out because it's a double kick. He's kicked it twice, effectively, which that rule is obviously in play to stop players from taking one touch forward and then like belting it from a little bit closer when the ball has momentum, which is totally fair enough. But in this instance, it's pretty fucking hilarious because I don't think you could try and do that deliberately in any reality. So, big fuck up from Mitrovic, and Newcastle go on to win 1-0 and goal from Alexander Isak. And Newcastle just keep on fucking rolling. They're third, equal points with Manchester United. What a season in the Premier League, man. Nobody would have predicted this particular situation, and it's good fun all round. Let's go to Serie A for a moment, because I have to eat a big fat chunk of my fist and humble pie, because I hoped and I put my money where my heart was in as far as Juve taking on Napoli to like make up some ground on them, because they're only 7 points behind. If they had beaten Napoli, they would have been 4 points behind in a title race that has looked well and truly over for a long time. Juve got absolutely fucking demolished. 5-1, tactically outclassed, physically outclassed, technically outclassed. There were moments where Juve looks like they could have done some real damage against Napoli. I don't think that we're that far behind in terms of talent of the squad and the ability for the team to actually pull something out of this season. But in terms of on-field play, everybody's miles behind Napoli. Napoli are just fucking fantastic. They did lose to Cremonese this morning in the Coppa Italia, so they're out, which means they have one fewer distraction to halt their title charge. They are still in the Champions League, of course, and they're just really, really good. I don't know if I mentioned this last week, and last week's a bit of a haze to me, but I met this dude when I did this thing for beIN Sports, and he was a bit of a fucking wanker, and he was like, "Have you seen how good Napoli are playing?" And I kind of got the shits, and I wanted Juve to win this game more to shove it up him than for me to watch my team win. Like, I don't care. I'm Pep Guardiola for Juve. I don't care. I've seen him win it. It's fine. Somebody else can take it, but I don't want Napoli to win it because fuck that guy. You know what I mean? And I'm also on beIN Sports saying that I think Juve are going to win the league. So, even though we're 10 points behind, the game has happened. There is another game against Napoli this season in Turin later on in the year. There are still plenty of games to go. Don't count Juve out of the title race, even after this loss, man. A 5-1 loss and a 1-0 loss, still 3 points. That's all I'm saying. Atalanta absolutely fucked Salernitana 8-2. This is the fourth time since Gianpiero Gasperini took over that Atalanta have won by more than 7 goals, which is remarkable and a testament to the team that they are. And just their longevity, man. They're just like, they cycle the roster every year. It's about the system. It's about him. It's about, it's about their style of play. And they're just a magical team. Fuck Salernitana, who recently purchased Mexican goalkeeping hero Guillermo Ochoa, who copped 8. So obviously he's got to go into cryo freeze again and wait for the next World Cup in 2026 because you are not a club footballer, my friend. And let's not leave him out there to have his reputation disgraced as he did this morning. Let's go to Spain. Barcelona won the Supercopa, which no one gives a fuck about. Spain's boring. La Liga's boring. I don't care. I only care about the off-peeled. Come and play on the peeled. I only care about the off-pitch drama, of which there is huge stories this week. Shakira and Gerrard Pique going through a very acrimonious divorce. We think that Gerrard Pique slept with Gavi's mum, but we're not sure what happened there. He definitely cheated. That's all we know. She left him, he cheated, and then Shakira released a song last week where she basically slandered the shit out of Pique. You traded a Ferrari for a Twingo. You traded a Rolex for a Casio. Pique, as a fuck you, rocks up with both to his job. He drives a Twingo, and he is now wearing a Casio, and he's paired with Casio as a sponsor for his Kings League. We'll talk about the Kings League in just a moment, but on Shakira, given that she's up for millions and millions of euros of tax fraud accusations, I wouldn't be slandering the Casios and the Twingos just so soon, my dear. But wherever, whenever. So Pique runs a 7-a-side league in Spain called the Kings League. And he plays in it, and Aguero plays in it, and Casillas plays in it. And it's just a fun little 7-a-side tournament. And, there's different clubs in there. And it's a cool little thing. But a current La Liga player was banned from playing. And so he has been playing. I assume it's a he. He has been playing in this league in a full, skin-covering Rey Mysterio mask disguise and under the name Enigma. Now, if you look at the ass on this current La Liga player and you consider who probably wouldn't be playing too much for their club, it's Eden Hazard, bro. It's definitely Eden Hazard playing as Enigma because he'll probably be playing in that league next year because, after Gareth Bale, he should retire too, Eden Hazard. My boy with the PH ass, he's probably the guy. He's probably the guy in the mask. El uomo di misterio is Eden Hazard. Last thing before we crack into the segments for this week, the BBC apologised after sex noises interrupted the broadcast of the FA Cup last week while the pre-match was happening for Wolves versus Liverpool, as Gary Lineker was attempting to give his the pre-match interviews of the former players that they had on there. You just had sex noises and no one knew where it was coming from until a few hours later, where they found like a 1990s mobile phone strapped to the back of the set. Somebody obviously tried to sabotage the broadcast. I don't know if it was a disgruntled former employee of the BBC or just someone having a laugh, but it was a pretty funny fucking prank. So BBC apologised. Gary Lineker said, I don't know why we're apologising. We haven't done anything wrong. We were sabotaged. And yeah, I would love to see that happening on an Australian broadcast, just to see Mark Bosnich lose his fucking mind. But, you know, remains to be seen. Remains to be seen. All right. So, I still want anybody listening, anybody watching, if you have a sitter, if you have an amazing sitter that I may not know about, send me a message and I will do it as sitter of the week, and I will shout you out, and we might do a raffle or a prize or something. You know, it's based on the energy that I received. But for this week, we have another sitter of the week, and it is Diego Forlan from 2003 versus Juve. Now, the YouTube video says that it's from the Champions League. It's not from the fucking Champions League. It is from a preseason friendly played in New York City at the Giants Stadium between Juve and Man United. Man United were up 4-1 at this point against Juve, which kind of broke my heart to see. But this is a very, very strong Manchester United team. Also a very strong Juve team. Preseason friendly. Who gives a shit? Pride. Forza. Forlan, gets the balls lofted over the top for him. There's a total miscommunication between goalkeeper Chimenti, who was the perennial third choice goalkeeper at Juve until maybe, 2007. He was always there, never fucking played. Kind of like Carlo Pinsoglio, who they've got there now. He's the third choice keeper. He will only ever play for 4 minutes in the last match of the season for Juve, just so that he can get a medal. And he's the ultimate cheerleader in the locker groom. Enunciation is just at an all-time peak today. He's the locker room kind of mascot, cheerleader. He's a really fun guy. When Buffon was the second goalkeeper a few years ago, they would just hang out on the bench, drink espresso. They're cool. Chimenti was nowhere near as cool. Chimenti, total miscommunication between him and the defender Fresi. Forlan is through by himself, in on goal. And maybe he's in line with the post. He's in line with the left post, smacks it with his right foot, very lazy shot, and just goes into the side netting. Absolutely horrible miss. I think worse technically than Fernando Torres, but not worse momentarily. You know what I mean? Fernando Torres is in an actual Premier League game. This miss was kind of emblematic of Forlan's entire time at Manchester United. He wasn't very good, and he was quickly shipped off to Villarreal. And then he played for Atletico afterwards. We can only wonder what might have happened if that ball that he struck in that game against Juve was a Jabulani. We know that Forlan with a Jabulani, absolutely unbeatable as per the 2010 World Cup. So it might have worked out for him at United had he had a little bit more of a ball that was suited to his particular style. And that's our sitter of the week. That's Diego Forlan versus Juve. Okay, our lasagna for this week is our funny little story. We're calling it Lasagna of the Week in lieu of a better name for this particular segment, and as a kind of homage to the former podcast, the Kevin Lasagna Appreciation Podcast, which is basically this son's video. And the lasagna of this week is the time that the Chelsea mascot, little boy, trolled the fuck out of Steven Gerrard, talking about a 2006 league game at Anfield between Chelsea and Liverpool. We've got the two teams lining up in the tunnels. We've got Steven Gerrard leading his team out, captain of Liverpool. Little boy who's about to grab hands with John Terry at the front of this line, with dyed hair. He's like 4 or 5, this kid, and he goes to shake hands with Steven Gerrard. Although, admittedly, he stuck out his left hand. Gerrard goes to shake his hand with his right hand, made for a very, very weird, uncomfortable kind of. Had he grabbed the hand, he would have been shaking it with the outside. But the kid does what the kid does. You guys have all seen this video. Presumably, does the old wipe of the hair. No, remember we used to do that? The wipe of the hair? Claude Makelele and Michael Essien absolutely pissed themselves laughing. And then if you pay really close attention to this video, the kid actually winks at Gerrard as he does it. And Gerrard smacks him on the mouth a little bit, which is a bit weird to touch a child like that on the face. Clearly, Gerrard was kind of hyping himself up to get into the game, and I think he was real pissed off. And when he was interviewed afterwards, he said, if I was an adult, I would have beaten the shit out of him. Something akin to that. However Steven Gerrard would say it, my Liverpool accent is not quite up to scratch, so I'm not going to try and do the scouse right now, but one day you may see me do it. Chelsea ended up winning quite comfortably 2-0 to go 15 points ahead of second place, and they romped to the title. That was Mourinho's second season in charge. This kid is now playing non-league. His name is Jack Nicholas, and he's playing non-league, and he's trying to earn his spot in a professional football team. I hope for the best for him because he's a football cult hero. Apparently his dad put him up to do this. His dad, clearly a big Chelsea supporter, clearly wanted to troll the fuck out of Liverpool. His dad told him to do the old... not the only example of when like kind of contemporary hand... Would you call that a hand gesture? You call it a thing that you... Yeah, contemporary gestures and trolling of the mascot to the footballer have happened. There was, of course, a little girl who did it to Suarez. She did a little Pied Piper thing to Suarez instead of shaking his hand. That was really funny. And then one you might not know about in 2016, Heidenheim in the Zweite Bundesliga, a match against Hanover. The goalkeeper Kevin Müller went to shake hands with the Hanover mascot. And the kid fucking dabbed on him. The kid did the same. It was basically the same 10 years later, a replica of what Jack Nicholas did to Steven Gerrard. This kid did it in the same way that like 2016 was when the dab was like, that's when Paul Pogba invented it, I'm pretty sure. And the kid just fucking dabbed on him, and he turned around and smiled as you would. Didn't assault the child, Steven Gerrard. Take some fucking notes. And yeah. The rest is history. So that's our lasagna for the week. If you know any other times that a mascot has gone rogue and tried to troll the fuck out of a player, you let me know, and I'll chat about it on this podcast. Let's look ahead to this weekend, guys, because we've got some absolutely mouth-watering games, particularly in the Premier League, man. The Premier League is so good that you can basically bank on there being a huge match every single weekend. But this weekend we've got two absolute blockbuster matches. We've got Liverpool versus Chelsea on Saturday. Battle of 9th versus 10th. That's right. Woohoo! The two shit giants from the aforementioned story come head to head with both of them desperately needing a win, desperately needing to get a little bit of momentum. The game is at Anfield, and I believe Liverpool are going to win this one. Guys, Chelsea don't really know who they are. Chelsea limped past Crystal Palace. I don't think Mykhailo Mudryk is going to play. I don't know if he's going to make that much of a difference anyway. Liverpool surely are not going to lose again. My pick is for them to win this game 2-0 against Chelsea. And then we've got Arsenal versus Manchester United at the Emirates Stadium. Manchester United, the only team to have defeated Arsenal in the league this season. I actually really want to watch this game Monday morning. It's at a pretty inconvenient time for us here in Sydney, 3:30 a.m. So probably ain't gonna watch it, but fuck, do I want to? Because this could be crucial for the title. So Arsenal, I think, at 7 or 8 points ahead right now of Man City, who are 1 point ahead of Newcastle and United. If Man United pull it out here, if they win, if they do the double over Arsenal. Surely not, right? Surely we don't get Erik ten Hag winning the Premier League in his first season. Surely we don't see that momentum catapult United into an actual title race. I don't think so. I think Arsenal are going to get revenge. So I want to say 2-1 to Arsenal. And it's going to be an amazing game. We'll see how we go. To Italy, we have Juventus versus Atalanta. The team that scored 8 goals of the weekend versus the team that conceded 5. You would assume that it's going to be a quite considerably comfortable victory for Atalanta, wouldn't you? Even though Juventus is second and Atalanta languishing around 5th or 6th. I wouldn't be so sure. I think this is going to be an extremely cagey affair. Games like this usually are extremely cagey, especially when they're played at the Juventus Stadium or the Allianz Stadium in Turin. So I Got to back my boys. They're not looking as shit as they were early in the season. They need a quick turnaround. Atalanta are vulnerable, and this ain't Salernitana. This isn't Guillermo Ochoa at 8,000 years old. Juve to win 1-0. A cortomuso, the way Allegri likes it. Lazio-Milan is the other, name-worthy game. Lazio are not very good at the moment. Could be a banana peel for Milan, but I think they'll probably pull it out. And actually, no, I've gone safe for every single fucking bet right now. Milan are on a little bit of a downward slide. I'm going to go Lazio winning 1-0. Yeah, Lazio going to beat Milan 1-0, and Juve are going to pull away from them and kind of solidify second in this game. No good games in Spain. Bilbao versus Real Madrid is the closest thing to that. And frankly, I don't give a fuck about Spain, so whatever. And then in Germany, we have Leipzig versus Bayern Munich. The Bundesliga is back. Leipzig versus Bayern Munich is a game that I'm very, very interested in. Leipzig have really turned it around since hiring Marco Rose, who left Borussia Dortmund last season because they had a pretty shit start to the season under Tedesco. They're going to beat Bayern Munich. There you go. They're going to beat Bayern Munich in Leipzig, and this is going to throw a little spanner in the works of who's going to win the Bundesliga this season, which ultimately will be Bayern Munich again, but they're going to scare them a little bit here. And those are my predictions for the big matches this weekend. Let me know if you think I'm a fucking moron. Let me know if you think that I'm right. Just let me know anything, guys. Listen. Some of you leave comments on the YouTube. Some of you send me DMs. Some of you leave comments on the Instagram. Do whatever you want. Let's just foster community, guys. Let's chat with me. I'm very accessible. Speaking of being accessible, my shows in Adelaide and Melbourne for the Adelaide Fringe Festival and the Melbourne International Comedy Festival are both on sale right now. Link in my bio. Check out my link tree. It's anywhere you might find this podcast. So if you're in Adelaide or Melbourne, my new show Heart of Darkness is all about the bad things that I've done in my life and how I have claimed redemption for them. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm working tirelessly on it, guys. So you will enjoy. So buy my tickets, watch the football this weekend, enjoy Forza Juve, raise your daughters, and as ever, Mr. Sitter fans, be cool.